Hey, I'm standing up.
You sit down, please. Is there a channel point thing for sit down?
Oh, I can make one. That would be a really good like April Fool's stream. I'm standing up the whole time, and then there's the channel points thing for sit down. All right, let's see this.
There is a video.
This is a classic. I've actually seen this video before.
It's so good.
My Discord.
I kept getting notifications over and over and over to review this thing before it gets taken down.
On September the 13th of this year, the Verge...
Did it ever actually get taken down, or did they just like lean into it?
No, okay. So it got taken down, and the guy got harassed online. But then he proceeded to call all PC gamers nerds, and that he was like... He was like, well, they just care about getting the best stuff out of their processors. And I was like, dude,
no, they care about putting it together. You're the one who made a tutorial on how to put together a PC and you did it completely wrong.
I don't know. He literally made a bomb. He made a bomb. I don't know how it even posted at all.
It's a miracle. That's a miracle of science. We need to get people to investigate the PC that he built.
I am convinced he tried to post it. It didn't post, and someone just came in and rebuilt the entire computer.
I mean...
This is a notoriously bad video, apparently. I haven't watched it yet.
Apparently, it was like a total fucking shit show.
How we built $2,000 gaming PC.
But I've been told it is extremely bad, and it's full of things that you just shouldn't
God, dude, I remember when this released.
At first, I admit, I thought it was...
Oh, you haven't seen it yet? Oh, man.
Hi, Stefan. You probably shouldn't have included your Twitter handle here, because I imagine...
Yep, that's mistake number one.
Flamed from the internet.
You can build a gaming desktop for around $1,000.
Which is true.
Well, yeah, you can build a gaming desktop for around $1,000.
Yeah.
Or $350.
My first one was $250.
$200 or $175 or $150. Or sometimes.
My first one had a GTX 460 in it, or GT 4, whatever it was called. It was like something really old.
I'm doing something epic.
I had a GTX 460 and I had like an i3 or something like that.
I think it's hard because of like as soon as you use something, then you're like, oh well, I need something better. You know, whenever you upgrade.
Yeah, like, and especially because like everybody who we were friends with at the time had like 970s. I think was the newest card at the time.
Yeah, it didn't
and
matter
I had
to
like
me.
a 4.
I had a pre-built with a GT 610.
Oh my god!
And I got it so long. I had that PC for like 5 years, too.
Well, I mean, to do what you wanted to. I mean, it did like to play CS. I mean, that's what I did. I just played CS all day, and I didn't need anything really crazy.
Yeah, I could play like CS on like high graphics and get like 50 frames on that old thing, which was fine. So if I turned down the graphics, like, you know, and it doesn't matter.
I actually played in
I was able to play GTA 5 on that PC if I turned down the graphics all the way.
I played in 4x3 on that old machine, and so like when I actually, you know, got a job and like built myself a really nice computer, like I still just continued to play in 4x3, and I still do to this day. I don't play in 1080p.
That's epic. Once I got this PC, how much did this cost me? I remember I got like a bunch of good Amazon deals. Yeah, so I got like a bunch of these parts for cheap. You remember my graphics card has 8 gigs of VRAM, which is more than I'm ever gonna need. Yeah, the one that I got from Amazon because they had a deal.
What is it? What is it?
It's a oh god, I don't even remember.
Is it an AMD card?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's an AMD card, and I also have an AMD processor.
You were there when I built my computer. You were at like my house, right?
Yeah.
That was an experience. It didn't post. It didn't post the first time, and I wanted to throw up.
Here's my processor. Ryzen 5. I got it for cheap. Cheap. Also got 16 gigs of RAM. That was maybe like the one thing I couldn't get a deal on. I'm pretty sure.
When did you build this? I feel like we built ours.
I installed this on March 16th, 2021.
Yeah. Okay, so I did mine.
Or no, not 2021. Oh, that was like 2 months ago. Like around April or June 2019.
Yeah.
I think I've had this for like 2 years.
I did mine. I did mine right before coronavirus. That's why I was able to get a GPU for like actually the amount of money a GPU costs.
insane.
I could sell my GPU right now for three times what my computer is worth.
Man,
I can sell my GPU right now for like $2,700,
So I spent
something like
around
that.
2,000 is a decent.
oh yeah, I gotta remember what I. Well, it's actually hard for me to figure out what I did because I also bought a monitor with my PC, so I don't know. I forget how much the monitor was. It was probably like 200 of it.
When I did mine, I set a budget for mine for 2,000.
I think the whole setup cost me at most 600, and then the monitor was like an extra 200. Which not bad for the stuff that I got, honestly.
If we're not counting the monitors, I bought 3 144 hertz, and that was like $750. So it was probably like I put around like $1,300 just to the computer itself.
I cannot wait for whenever I need a new PC. I don't think I'm ever gonna spend more than $1,000 on a PC. I don't think I'm to that point. I don't think I play games intensive enough. I feel like every game that I play now I could run just fine. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
So
I like to have the option to. I also play a lot of games like story-driven games.
And it also makes like rendering stuff much easier when you have like massive graphics card. But
yeah,
I'm fine with what I have.
I also do like a bunch of 3D software stuff ever since I got a
true.
3D printer. Ever since I got that 3D printer, all I've been doing is CADing.
What about like video editing? Yeah, video editing isn't that bad. It's not that intensive except for rendering. It's the only thing. It might take a while to render, but it's all you're really getting out of it is time, not really like performance. Well, I guess
you know what? Speaking of GPUs, I guess I can't really name the company I work at. So the place that I work at.
He works at a place.
I work at a place. I work for the IT department in a place. Someone called me today or last week and was like, or called my IT service desk and was like, hey, the GPU in my computer is like missing. And so
was he running on integrated graphics or
yes,
something?
He was.
Oh my God.
He noticed it because he tried to do an update through the control panel. And I was like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, it's just not in my machine. I've been working from home for the past 4 months. I came back into the office today and my GPU is missing. And so he does like a lot of architecture analysis and like CAD and like 3D CAD software analysis. I don't know. He does something. So he had a 3080. You can spec out your own. You can spec out your own machine, and if your job title is, if it fits in line with what you need, then we have no problem in buying it. So it's a company-owned machine, but he spec'd it out. So he's got a 3080 in there. I think he had some type of i9 or i7. It's like a really fucking nice computer. This man hasn't been at work for 4 months. He's been working from home from his laptop, which is a Razer Blade that we also got him. And he comes back to the office today, and the 3080 is just not there. It's just not there. I open up his case, and it's just gone. It looks like someone came through and just hoodwinked. He got hoodwinked. And so everybody sent out an email like, hey, is there a 3080?
And then some random guy on the other side of the company was like, oh yeah, I was taking that for safekeeping.
Some guy in the sales department.
He's like, yeah, I needed it to calculate our books. You need that for accounting?
I was just borrowing it. No, but
I thought as long as no one's using it, I gotta.
I don't think anybody would just go on and steal the graphics card and just walk away. I don't know though, but my theory is that someone needed it for to test something and just forgot about it, and it's sitting in a random machine, and we have 9,000 machines. So,
oh God.
Yeah. Anyway, that was I didn't mean to go on a tangent. I just thought that was fucking hilarious.
All right, let's learn how to build a PC.
What do you need to build a desktop? Well, of course, first you need a table.
Okay.
Preferably not metal.
Hold on, time out. Time out.
So, what do you need to build a desktop?
Okay.
Well, of course, first you need a table.
First, you need air. First, you need the planet Earth. You need to be on that planet, and you need to be a human. Is that clear?
Dogs. That's not true. You're assuming dogs can't build a computer?
Yeah. Let's try it out.
First, you need a table. Preferably not.
You need a table.
Well, if you give the dog a table, Will it be able to do it? I think if you give it this guide, we'll be able to build a PC.
I thought you could build it in mid-air.
You cannot build this on the floor. So step 1, you need a table. Step 2, you better have 2 hands, and they better have 10 digits.
You know what's
That's
funny about
just
this, Will?
common
I think
sense.
we built mine on the floor.
Yeah. I don't think there's a problem with building on the floor, apart from like you might get dust and stuff, or just like parts of the carpet.
I guess if you had carpet, you probably
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Yeah, but I mean, it's fine otherwise. I don't know.
You're gonna need a working surface area to build a computer. That's just, why even say that?
Have an anti-static working surface.
You're gonna need a working table. I don't know. You guys might have some defective tables at home. Can we? You should really check your table before you start using it.
Laid on top of it, a thermal paste applicator.
A thermal paste applicator? What the heck is that?
Does anybody ever actually use a thermal paste applicator?
I have never seen that. I've actually never seen that.
I've never seen that either. I built in 4 computers and I've never seen that.
Do they actually like ship something like that?
I don't think so. I think literally that's just a Dippin' Dots spoon.
I think you just made it up. He was like, "Well, how am I supposed to put the paste on?" He just brought in like a piece of plastic. He was like, "You know what? That's a thermal paste applicator right there."
It gets even funnier when I'm not gonna spoil it.
Why is he recommending an Allen wrench?
I have never used an Allen
That's
wrench.
true. Why is he recommending an Allen wrench?
Maybe he thinks that like the what do you call them, thumb screws, like the ones that you just out with your thumbs. Maybe he thought like those had the same like bitting as an Allen wrench or something. I don't know. Why do people make it more complicated than it? I know, right? Because they see it's a computer. It can do anything. You can play a game on it. So they think that it's like some really complicated thing when it's not really that complicated.
I mean, I don't know. I've tried explaining to like my girlfriend, like I literally took apart my computer the other day just to deep clean it, and I was like, hey, it's literally just like Legos. You just like it's not hard at all. And she was like, what the fuck? I guess if you're just not.
I think if you don't know what's going on, kind of it just like looks complex, you know? Yeah. Because you see like exposed wires, you see like the actual board itself, so you're like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on there, you know? So I could see that.
Class. He used that Allen wrench to put together the table.
Some tweezers.
It's like adult Lego, yeah.
Hold on, did he just say tweezers? Those are zip ties.
How in God's name is my English better than his?
This is not turning out good already.
A Swiss Army knife, which hopefully has a Phillips head screwdriver in it.
What?
A Swiss Army knife that hopefully.
I completely forgot that. Why wouldn't you just get a screwdriver? I actually completely forgot that.
Well, you need a Swiss Army knife with
You need it so in case your graphics card gets stuck, you can just jam it in there and okay, I got it out.
That's what I did with my case. When I got my 2080, it was too big for my case, so I just
you took a chainsaw to the case and
I like sawed out a part of the case.
Have you ever seen like some of those jank builds where something doesn't fit in the PC, so they just cut out a hole that's like perfectly fit to like the fan or whatever that doesn't fit?
That's what I had to do. I mean, I don't have a problem.
I love it. It's good.
Hopefully has a Phillips head screwdriver in it.
No. Like, I mean even more. Hold on, let me see if I can find one.
No.
Wouldn't you make sure that you have the tools necessary before you start the build?
This is a sponsored video.
Why does your office with so many dozen PCs and so many dozen tech employees not have one of these?
And last but not least, an anti-static bracelet, which is to protect you.
This is the funniest part. This is the funniest part.
These are the parts you're gonna need. But more importantly, before we get
Hold on. That's not an anti-static bracelet at all.
That's a bracelet. That's
It's literally just a bracelet.
That's what we call a bracelet.
And I love Jesus bracelet. I think that's what they say here.
Round wire coming off of it. He's not connected to anything. That looks like the bracelet I'm wearing.
It's not a wireless wristband. That's a Rivstrong bracelet.
I was laughing at that, but also hold on. I kind of want to do it like when I'm like 10 years older and I'm like, you know what, I just want to do some wacky PC build. I want to have a funny idea like this and I want to make it.
Buy an aquarium tank. Wait. Buy an aquarium tank. Fill the entire thing with mineral water or mineral oil because it doesn't conduct electricity. Or like isopropyl alcohol doesn't.
That would be so funny.
That doesn't. And then just do that.
That would be.
You can put like fish in there. Just...
This is the kind of thing I want. I want this. This looks amazing. You cannot tell me that this doesn't look cool. Until someone accidentally sits on it, mistakes it for a real toilet.
What happens if you flush? If you press the flush button and it turns on, that'd be so fucking cool.
Dude, what if that's such a good idea. Or imagine like you have all your ports and stuff inside the bowl. Like you open it up and you like plug in a USB inside. That'd be so cool.
That would be so cool.
See, we have like the perfect ideas for PCs, but we just need to be able to make them.
We just need the money.
Yeah.
He's not fighting static, he's fighting
How much does a toilet cost? It can't be more than like $200, right?
I just choked on a popcorn kernel.
How much does a toilet cost? I typed toilet.
It doesn't need to be a new toilet, Will. We can just
The average new toilet costs around $500. Price can range from as low as $90. Okay, so we get like okay, this is doable. This is definitely doable. What's this? I like it. It's simple. Look, you make do with what you have, okay? It's perfect.
There's nothing inherently wrong with that, except for it's probably going to catch on fire.
Yeah.
That's not going to work at all. Don't listen to this person. This is really bad.
I don't really understand what the problem with static is in PCs. So most modern PCs don't actually have any problems because, there's a bunch of different, it's just good practice.
Yeah,
it's just good practice.
It's like a 1 in 10,000 chance that like if you actually statically shock something that it could go wrong, but there's still the chance. So you want to, especially when you're dealing with these components that some graphics cards might cost upwards of $1,000. You're gonna want to be like, okay, let's make sure that 1 in 10,000 chance doesn't happen.
But you don't need to wear a bracelet. You can just ground yourself by touching any metal surface.
That's what I do. I always touch my desk leg.
Yeah, as long as you're not literally standing on carpet with socks on, just touch any piece of metal, and you've automatically grounded yourself.
As long as you don't have slippers on, you're walking around on carpet as a sheep walks by your legs, then you should be fine.
And even if you do, there are so many surge protectors and different type of fail safes in all of these motherboards now. Towards
there's a good video by it was a collab. Electroboom and Linus.
Yeah.
They did a video together about it.
So it's best you unbox them, isolate the parts that you really need. Isolate the parts that you...
What? Why did he destroy the box? Dude, you have a knife right there, man.
Yeah, they come in such nice boxes too.
I save all of my PC boxes.
Yep. Was it? All of them. Screw in with confidence, but also don't screw in too hard, otherwise you...
Screw in with confidence. I like his style.
Oh, at least he put the posts in. He didn't tell. It's a tutorial. They didn't tell you to put the posts in. But luckily, he already did it, and you just have to figure it out.
That's true. That's pretty important. So you don't fry your motherboard.
Asus? For two main reasons. One, it has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and also it has...
Oh, come on. That's the worst. That's the worst.
Because it has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth.
And also it has support for NVMe.
It's like if you really
Nope. If you are building a PC, you should have an Ethernet connection.
I know. But if you really are just like, I cannot live unless I have a Bluetooth connection, get an adapter.
Yes.
Just plug it into USB port.
Not only are they much cheaper, when you usually get an onboard Bluetooth or an onboard NIC,
or a card, perfect.
You're usually sacrificing something else on the motherboard.
If you're gonna get it,
you're probably overpaying.
Just get it additionally. There's no point to buy a motherboard that's gonna be like this.
Meaning you can get really...
Okay, I want to stop it there because
he's not putting any IO shield.
Installing the motherboard straight into the chassis. I'd install as much as I physically could onto the motherboard first. So you're talking the processor, thermal paste, It's cooler if it will allow it. Obviously, if you're using an AIO, it's a different story or custom loop. But if it's an air cooler, you can bolt that on there. M.2 drive, so that could be SATA raw, NVMe, and memory.
Strawberry shrimp salad to Verge PC build.
So when you do transfer
Look,
to the case,
a lot happened.
Generally easier.
Attention to the brace that goes at the brace that the brace that
Whoa.
the brace that the brace
The
brace that goes at the back
brace?
of the
Oh my.
Did he seriously just call an IO shield plate a brace?
You always have to make sure that you really
My first ever PC, I didn't put any IO shield.
Do
until
not
after
hammer
I
it
got
in.
everything done.
Please do not hammer it. Why did he say hammer it in?
It's kind of sketchy.
Secondly, it's
Well, no,
pretty
I
fast
just had to take the
RAM.
motherboard
It's
out.
2,666 megahertz.
That's not that fast for DDR4 memory. That is very, very slow. 2666 is not that fast.
I can run at 3200 megahertz.
That would be classified as really fast on DDR3, but for DDR4, not so much.
Okay, I don't know why he's opening all 4 DIMM slots. He only has 2 sticks of RAM. He's putting this in wrong. Already. There's the little notch right there, and there is
wait,
the
I think
hole.
he puts.
You can
I think I
tell right
remember what
now
happens
this is
here.
not lined
Puts
up.
it in backwards.
He's already putting it in.
No,
upside
not only
down.
does he
He's
do
not
that,
gonna
he
snap
And just lining that up with.
he doesn't
Well,
do
they cut
dual
away.
channel
You
it.
hear that?
They cut
Oh,
away
yeah.
because he was putting it in wrong.
So really, he's only getting 8 gigabytes of RAM.
You don't see
Did you have I ever told you there was this one morning where I was just doing something and what was it? I was just like playing a game or something completely like normal and my PC blue screen. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, you did tell me that. I was on. I think we were on Discord when I happened.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out. I was looking at so I opened Task Manager. I eventually figured out. I was like, it says I only have 8 gigs of RAM when I obviously have 16. And I was like, how did like my did one of my RAM sticks just die or something? I was trying to figure it out. No. I opened up my PC. I look at it and it was just like it was like a tenth of a millimeter disconnected or something. All I did was like push it back in and it worked. It was so weird. I don't know. It just came loose somehow. I don't know how because I had 16 gigs before. That one night I guess it just randomly came loose. I don't know how it happened, but it did.
You got chills was the video.
No,
the chills video.
There was a guy, you know, who he took out the graphics card from the PC next to me. You know, he tried to take out the RAM, never put it back. That's a callback.
Slot 4. Who edited this?
I mean, I tell you, I'm definitely editing
Video doesn't give you this video. I could link this video if you want, if that's what you're actually looking for.
video down so I don't sound stupid.
Step 3, we're going to install.
Hold on. What is that?
Hold up.
What is this right here?
What do you guys see wrong?
He installed the memory incorrect.
Oh no, he installed the memory wrong.
They side by side. They should be spaced out for the
That's just like I feel like that's bad practice anyway. You know, people. I feel like the first instinct of somebody will be like, yeah, but you know, you want them right next to each other. But it's like once they heat up, you want to disperse the heat more anyway, right? So why not have them just like logically? You know what I mean?
Most motherboards anyway are like dummy proof, so they'll tell you where to plug in the.
Yeah. I know.
Color coded.
But I'm just saying, just like logically, like okay, it's gonna get hot. So you don't want them right next to each other, right? Unless you really need that slot.
Does RAM get hot?
RAM gets kind of hot.
I never really noticed it.
That's why well, it shouldn't get like super hot, which is why it has. If you look at your RAM card, it'll actually have like heat dissipation built in.
Oh.
Like it'll have a what do you call the thing where it like naturally gets rid of heat? What's the thing called? You know where it.
I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say.
Okay, I'm gonna Google it. You ready? Watch this.
Thing that naturally gets rid of heat, water.
Yeah, your RAM has water in it.
Heatsink. Is that what you're talking about?
Kind of heat. I mean, yeah, I guess.
Radiator?
What is the best thing for heat rash? Cold baths and showers.
Yeah, I got one of those. It's
Radiator. But like reverse radiator. I don't. Yeah, heatsink. It's definitely heatsink.
So
I can't.
Dual channel support on his motherboard if he's going to run his RAM like that.
That's only going to read 8 gigs. That's not going to read 16 because one of them's installed incorrectly.
Speaking of the memory, I wish I could erase this one.
But you can always upgrade this and swap it out, and it's only
That
held
was
down
funny,
by
though.
one screw and the latch, so it's really simple.
Okay, so he mentions it's only held down by a screw and a latch, but then looking at it, he hasn't actually put the stand off, and it looks like he's screwing the NVMe drive directly onto the motherboard. So generally you'd get these with your motherboard, which is a tiny little standoff and a little screw that just kind of brings up the M.2 drive so that it's in line. He's screwing it down onto the motherboard like, oh. Is this computer even going to work?
Now, which lane you choose depends entirely on what other parts you're going to put in the system.
It's the bandwidth, I think. It's some of the bandwidth.
Absolutely wrong. He's absolutely wrong there. Obviously, you picked the top one because that one has the most bandwidth.
I'm just
Look at that. Dude, you should go on Brain Rush. You would.
I should go for computer engineering. That'd be cool. That's what I should go to college for.
Should go to college. That's a good idea.
Because the SSD is at the bottom, and I don't want to cover it. I just think it looks nice.
That's the number one reason why you should do anything when you're building a PC. I think it looks nice.
Can you imagine saying that where you put your GPU like in what channel? I put it in the bottom one because it looks nice.
Yeah.
Make sure that you align it with these little insulating pads. So
They're not insulating pads, they're anti-vibration pads. What are you insulating against?
so the power supply isn't short.
You know, you're insulating against the two parts of the case, the tiny little bits.
It's actually raises a good point because I don't think the guy's logic here is like totally flawed, because you would think that like something like that would metal on a battery, you know, doesn't sound good. But or metal on a power supply doesn't sound good, but like the power supply is completely like grounded anyway.
Yeah.
Like I don't think the guy's logic is bad, but he shouldn't be saying that if
he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest of the system.
What? Whoa! Hold the phone.
That is so dumb.
You are actually an idiot.
Go in. I've had enough.
Kiwi.
So we have a 120 volt.
I think the
outlet,
most
and then
important
we
thing is
have
probably just
our
like cable management. I think cable management
Yeah.
should matter.
That's really what will make a PC actually look nice. Is if you have cables running the right way.
And it's
You know,
like
it's
really
not just like
good-
a jumble of wires.
It's also just like good practice in case you ever need to like get back inside your PC.
You know, it's like trying to weave your way through the wires. Is like, oh wait, no, that's not the one. It just makes your life easier.
Power supply. Oh no. 120 volts. I'm touching the case. There's 120 volts going through my body right now.
See,
what happens?
I learned
if we
that,
take
like that.
nice little thing. Nothing. Because if we go into
Like I said, I don't think the guy's logic was like wrong in thinking that way.
grounded. It's almost as if the people developing electrical standards knew what the heck they were doing.
It's a good thing he has what would.
Yeah,
Jesus
I guess.
put on.
I guess I could see it.
So
I
just
don't-
take it in.
Maybe like if the connection to ground was broken somehow.
But it wouldn't. I mean, it's
Yeah,
encased.
exactly. But I think if the connection to ground's broken, then you have a much bigger issue.
Yeah.
Slide it in nice and easy.
That's
You
tough.
have a
That's
fit.
that is bad.
What?
That is bad.
It's right up against the front.
What's wrong here?
Oh my god, he's putting the fan towards the back of the case. He's gonna suffocate airflow on it.
How do you
no.
How do
want
you?
this PC to actually last and not burn itself
That
the
is
fuck up?
bad.
Potentially
I
a
totally
fire
forgot
hazard.
about
You
that.
should never do that. Never, ever, like, block the fan.
What the case is designed for is that the power supply should be facing outward, or the fan should be facing outward, so it could pull air in.
This guy's gonna be replacing the power supply in a few months, and he's gonna be like, "Holy crap! Why is this thing dead already?"
Always be sure to try to play.
Hold on.
I could see through this.
I can see the table through the fins of the radiator. He does
I don't
not
know much
have
about
fans on
radiators,
that.
so
Why are
I
there
don't
no
know.
fans on the radiator? So he's just gonna fry his CPU too.
He also doesn't have the plastic cover on this. That has thermal paste on it. If that thing happens to tilt or anything else, he's just going to smear thermal paste everywhere. Possibly get it dirty.
There's nothing special about this screwing in process. They're just really long screws because they go through the entire frame of the cooler.
Oh, wait a second.
And
He's
they
destroy.
take
He's
forever.
destroying the
No, why are
radiator.
there really long screws is because you're supposed to put the fans on and then screw the fans on with those screws. That's why they're long.
Because the fans are this thick, and the screws go through the fans
Oh,
into
man.
the radiator to mount them to the
He's
radiator.
really just
Use
drilling
the
right through the
small ones,
radiator.
We're going to
Yeah.
drill holes into the heatsink. think of the radiator?
And that fluid's gonna go everywhere.
Okay, he's probably broken his all-in-one now.
I doubt this PC is going to last very long.
My family in China who made this product cringing so hard right now.
Every power supply is going to come with a big bag of Velcro cables.
Okay,
What?
every power supply is going to come with a big bag of cables. It's not every power supply, because not every power supply is modular. You have modular power supplies, semi-modular, and then just normal straight cables. So that's
true.
bit of a misleading statement.
It is true.
Agree you want
Mine
to
is
put the
a
cables
semi-modular
in the
power
power
supply.
first. Some cases, very difficult to put it in after the fact.
Oh dear. Considering you've fucked up everything so far, I have no faith in you putting the CPU properly in its socket.
Why the hell is the CPU not installed at this point?
A Core i7.
That's a good point.
That's the first thing you do.
Yeah.
And it's an 8th generation chip.
Yeah,
and
we got one. Super exclusive. You can only buy it on every major retailer in the world.
And it supports overclocking. So what
I swear to God, you better not overclock
installer
it.
does, we're just going to take this little plastic part out. Just toss that out of here.
No, don't do that.
And
No, you need that.
What the heck?
I find
did
it
he
really
just
relaxing
do?
to troubleshoot a PC.
Last Jedi level.
Motherboard manufacturer.
Nice. What's up, Willy?
I don't know. I guess when it's like the PC's not yours and it's brought to you to troubleshoot, I guess it's different.
It's like a process. You can like go down a checklist and be like, well,
Yeah,
it's not
like
this. You know.
at work, I have like 9 or 8 PCs that I have to get through probably in a day, and I just put on earbuds and I just go throughout my checklists, and then, one ends up sticking. But I guess if like it's your own money and you're stressed about it, then it's probably a different story.
Yeah, you say it could be 100 different things, but then you're going to be able to rule out some stuff.
Yeah,
really
and
quickly.
like one checklist, you can check off like 10 things.
So
Features actually require you to have that but plastic cover for the socket, the CPU socket. If you plan on RMAing that motherboard, if there's a problem with it and you plan on sending it back to the manufacturer to get fixed, they need that plastic cover. They will not
That's
accept
true.
an RMA
That is true.
process or request if
I
you
tried to
don't have
RMA
that
my
cover. So don't
motherboard,
throw that away.
and they wouldn't let
Always
me.
keep that.
And
They
also,
threw
you
it out.
do not just pull it out of the socket. It pops out after you put your CPU in, which you would know if you would
no,
have
don't worry.
already
His PC's going to work, so he doesn't have to.
It's gonna work.
put your CPU in before all of this
Yeah, don't worry,
garbage
don't
that you
worry.
did on your case.
And we're going to use the CPU applicator. This is a special.
Is that
A what?
I've never seen
A
that.
CPU applicator. It's
I
for
have a
applying the
CPU
CPU.
applicator.
It's for applying the CPU.
I know, but how does it?
Yeah,
How is that even?
well, you take the CPU and you apply it.
Okay.
You apply it to the PC. You apply the CPU to the PC.
I know, but like, what is the applicator?
It applies it.
Oh. Okay, so like, are my hands
seen that in my
CPU
life.
applicators?
Yes.
Like, what is that? Like,
well,
what does that do?
they're old-fashioned applicators, you know.
CPU applicator.
I have never seen a bracket for the CPU to be held on so you can install it properly.
It's called a CPU installation tool. It makes it
Why would you need that? Just drop it in.
I don't even know where you get a CPU installation tool.
I feel like that's useless.
I don't think, like, I can't imagine they come with the CPU.
I don't know how that works. Like, I imagine it has a thing to like line it up with the socket, but that doesn't make sense then, because why?
I don't understand how you can get something lined. I don't get
it either.
What's the difference between a GPU and a CPU? GPU renders your graphics and CPU renders like your more heavily advanced.
It does like everything.
Processing.
Basically. CPU is just like the core of your computer. That's what everything goes through. But if you want like more advanced graphics, you know, like a computer game or something to really be able to run and generate, then you have this separate component called the GPU, which will
CPUs
do
have
calculations
integrated,
as well.
Yeah, CPUs have integrated GPUs in them most of the time, but so you don't really need a GPU in a computer.
Yeah, but they're not very powerful.
Yeah, exactly. They're not really that powerful.
Because you see, the CPU is like this tiny, but the GPUs that we have now for gaming and stuff are like this big. Their cards this huge, and you know they're able to do really fast like vector calculations, so they can like get a ray of light and be like, yeah, that's going this way, and then this one's going this way, and then they do that at whatever your refresh rate is.
It's just taking some of the stress off the CPU so it can handle more processing.
Because you want the CPU to be doing like the core stuff, like running Windows, running like stuff like that. You don't want to bog down the CPU with just like, oh well, let's do this cool little graphics thing. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. Yeah. That's
so
it.
What having this little installer does for you is it's basically a brace that you can apply.
Isn't it crazy?
And this will make it easier for
that
us
we
to
know how computers work. Isn't that crazy?
Well, you're a computer science major, and I'm a computer engineering major, so there's.
I know the theory of how they work too. It's crazy.
You don't need that.
That's where I lack, Will. I don't give a fuck about the theory. I just know that they work. You didn't even use it.
You threw it to the side.
Why did he spend all that time talking to us about that CPU holder thingy if he didn't even use it?
He knows he didn't need it. Now we can't delete everything he said because the editor is someone else other than him.
So we're about to apply thermal paste to the CPU.
Why are we about to apply thermal paste to the CPU? I'm looking in the AIO, like typically AIOs come with like a thermal, a small amount of thermal paste already
Isn't that like
applied.
Every CPU cooler?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Like they knew that applying thermal paste would be so fucking hard that they started doing it for people.
No, it's not even that hard, really.
It's really not. It's literally like a teardrop.
I used to put way too much thermal paste, and then I realized like, oh, you don't need that much because you want the connection to actually like,
you want it to stick,
but you don't want to like just not have anything.
I forgot to put thermal paste.
I completely forgot, or like once I learned that once you like squish it, it just like spreads out so much. That's like, yeah. It's like, can you program?
It's an even layer, and then you have to put pressure on it when you put the the fan on or whatever the AIO on.
Yes, I do program. I do it for many of my classes. And I
also do it for
years.
Fun though. He also does it for fun though.
Oh, do I have a good for fun? Here's Osu skin. Let me see if I can get a fun program that I made just up right now. Let me see if I just have like some random Python
Also,
script.
I realized the guy building is only doing what he's told, and somehow he's getting hate.
Oh, this is so old.
Yeah, so there's like a whole thing behind this guy, and I agree with you. The guy really only was doing what he was told to do, but his response to the video's negative liking, his response to that was that's what people hate on the guy for.
I'm gonna show you something so stupid. All right, I made this like probably a couple of years ago now. There's something. This is. Oh, get out. This is a Python script. It's written using Pillow or Pill.
I think. Did you show me?
Import it. This makes top text, bottom text memes.
You did. Yeah.
You can have it choose a random background image, and sometimes they can be so stupid. Here, let me run it. Let me see. Oh wait, whoops. Oh wait.
Yeah, the guy who's building this computer, when he got on Twitter and he called all computer gamers like nerds and like virgins and stuff because they were all hating on him. It was funny. I don't know.
When you build a PC. Okay, I generated it. Let's see. It's using a random image. Yeah, so this is the kind of stupid stuff I make in my free time.
Oh wait, Will, the Homer code that we built. Oh no, I think I deleted the server.
Oh yeah. Don't worry. I mean, as long as you still have the code, you still have the bot. I taught John how to make a Discord bot back when I was ancient. Yeah, I can. I mean, it's really simple. All you have to do is just make the text like centered. And the font is Impact. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that. You just have to think. I think doing a simple project like that is really, really nice because you have an idea. You have a simple idea that's like, okay, I want to make top text, bottom text memes. But then as you go along, you figure out something that you missed. Like, okay, well, the text isn't like aligning. And then you're like, okay, well, I can make the text align here. Oh, the image are different sizes. How do I make it so the text will always be like at the top and bottom? You know, problems like that you find, and you get to like think in a different way.
I find it so interesting to hear, like, me and you, like, that's where we differ, I feel like, because I can program, but I cannot sit there and, like, I guess work backwards.
And You know what the best part is? I'll say that the best part is half of the time programming just doesn't work, and I think everybody who programs just sort of accepts that. Because I turned in recently. I did my final project for my databases class, and I had to make like a database, and you had to like write down all the features that you wanted to implement and stuff. And I got like so stuck on the features, not like the actual database part, which is probably why I got such a good grade. I got a 100 on that, only having half of the features that I promised. Just because I guess my professor sort of accepted, like, yeah, you know, they're going to have some issues programming. I'm fine with that. It's just crazy to me that I basically did half of my project and I still got full credit for it.
That link that I put in the chat, I'm not nearly as good as Will when it comes to coding, but like I know how to do basic stuff, and I learned it all pretty much through Will and that link. Recodecamp.org is like really good.
That seems cool.
It's actually really nice.
I don't have any experience with it, but if you do, there you go. There we go. Let's see this PC.
It comes with a bit of thermal paste already neatly applied, and
not every CPU cooler.
It's good, essentially PC building practice to have a little bit extra and layer it on top of the CPU.
No.
Ooh, now he's already adding too much.
No.
Ooh.
What you do? It's a CPU. You're not icing a cake.
By the
That's so
looks
much
of it,
thermal
where
paste.
I
used to, you know what I used to do? Since I was talking about that, I used to put a big glob in the middle. Like not like massive, but like probably as much as he put, but all just in the center.
All you need is a pea-sized
like he's
drop.
adding more
I know,
thermal
you
paste
don't
to the
need that
CPU,
much.
And then he's going to put what's already on the cooler on top, which that's a big no-no. Don't do that. That's awful. What you should do is use a pea-sized drop of thermal paste in the middle.
Ooh,
Dude,
flexing that knowledge.
I do this. This is what I do, Will.
IHS, which is that like metal square on the CPU. Integrated heat spreader, as it's called. That's more than enough, is a pea-sized blob of thermal paste in the middle. Once you make the contact with the CPU cooler, that will actually spread out when you go to put pressure from the cooler on top of the CPU. So don't do this.
Yeah, you gotta remember, you're putting a lot of pressure on it.
Yeah.
Like you were
especially when
squeezing
you
down
like,
on it.
Yeah, when you actually like bring it down and lock it in. What did I just do? What was that motion I just did?
I don't know, dude. You were like
it looked
like you're unlocking a box.
You're like, I'm cranking it.
You're hanging around Gordon Ramsay too much. You're just talking to his fucking hands.
Dude, this is like the Gordon Ramsay grilled cheese of PC building.
Probably be dead in a week.
So you're gonna see that.
Oh my God! What is that?
Holy
What is this application process?
What
is
happened?
that?
So you're gonna see that there
are. Oh my God!
Did he like squish it down and then like pick it back up? Or
no, I think he tried to use the applicator to spread it.
Oh.
How difficult is it to learn different languages in programming?
It depends on the language.
I know 3.
I think
and
some of them
pretty hard for me.
Some of them are like a lot stupider than others. So if you start with something that's really close to English kind of and that you really understand, like Python, I always recommend. Because
that's what I learned. Yeah,
a lot of the stuff is really it's much easier to understand than going into like a really stupid language.
Once you understand the foundations of like what programming basically is like you trying to communicate.
Yeah, it's a lot about like logic and like figuring out like what a computer can understand.
Yeah,
and things like that. And once you have that basis, you can bring it to different languages, and all that really changes is like how you write something. Like some languages, like Python, you could just be like do dot this, and then that's the end of the function. You don't need a semicolon or anything, but other languages actually require you to have a semicolon, stuff like that, like minor differences, you know.
But the logic stays the same, pretty much. Like it doesn't really change.
It's true, and it's just like it you got to think all the logic gets converted down, and then it's all run by the CPU. It's all run by the same thing. So I think even though the languages change.
I think you told me this. You or Justin told me this. It's like learning how to drive a car for the first time is really hard. It's like a really big thing. But like every car that you drive is going to be different, but it's still going to be like driving a car.
That's a good analogy.
You or Justin said that to me when I was learning C#.
That's epic. You're going for the day? All right, see you later, Vapor.
Good night.
Let's continue.
So you're gonna see that there are 4 graphics.
It's like someone threw up thermal paste onto his processor.
It looks like paint. It looks like a paint splatter.
It really
like
does. No, it really does.
Shit all over the processor.
Imagine a ketchup packet slowly being ran over.
He went all bukkake up in that thermal paste.
You had a thermal paste spreader. Use the fucking thing. What is that?
He's got the. He's
Dude,
got
I can't even
the.
make fun of
Oh
this
man,
guy.
I can't
He's
even.
actually-
John, look away.
What? Oh, okay.
Can I show this on Twitch?
But it's link me in Discord.
It's for anybody who knows. I was about to show Shinji's hand. That's anybody who understands that. Chance will understand that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just
I feel like if you have to ask if you can show them.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like,
like
I'm sure it's fine, but
Oh, if this computer posts, it'll be a freaking miracle.
I thought about it for a second. I was like,
Cooler rays off the processor, but it's also going to be close enough to actually physically come in contact with it.
They're going to keep the cooler off the processor, but it's going to be close enough to make physical contact.
Take some screws like this.
it's off of it. It's not even on it, but you know, it's making physical
floating.
contact.
It's just floating.
It's floating, but it's making physical contact. It's
sticking out a finger. You know, it's sticking out a toe.
And just screw them on.
Woo, The Verge. I dislike your editing style so much. He said do it like this, and it's a wide shot. I can't even see what he's doing.
So now that we're internally done,
That's true.
I love stuff like that. It's almost like unintentional comedy. Like one of my favorite jokes from Fesh Pins. This is of course intentional, but I
was watching Fresh Prince while we were watching Kitchen Nightmares.
Hold on. I need the good Fesh Pins joke. It's Carlton walks in the kitchen. He's like, "I'm gonna get Dad what he always wanted. What, pizza in the garage?" And he's like, "No." But the audience is laughing so loud that you can't hear what he's saying. It's one of the most effective jokes. Now that I explained it, it's not gonna be funny, but it's fine. Here, wait, where's the? Oh wait, it's over here. I went too far ahead.
I figured it out, Will. I'm gonna get Dad what he always wanted.
What, a Pizza Hut in the garage?
Better. I'm gonna clinch the election by getting an influential person.
It's like almost exactly like that. It's like he's like,
Is
here.
that real?
No. He's gonna. It's like he's like, here, and I'm gonna show you exactly what you're doing. And he like gets as far away as possible. That's where the camera is. And he's like, oh yeah, you gotta do this. You gotta. It's like you literally can't see what's going on.
You know, Sheep Gang should make a PC build video. That'd be an experience.
What is
Holy
this?
shit.
What is all of this?
That's what I was saying about wire management.
So that cable management though.
When you're building a computer, always take the time to cable manage properly. Make sure everything looks neat. You know, your cables aren't going to affect your airflow inside your case.
And he actually used his quote-unquote tweezer slash.
He just zip tied it all together. He was like, "That's cable management. If they're all just clumped together,
like in a single spot,
mesh together. It's like Incredibles."
That's bad. That's a fire hazard. I think,
Oh my god!
Somewhere in there.
I mean, maybe, probably. I mean, this
Look
whole
at the
PC
RAM.
is a fire hazard.
Look at the
right?
RAM. Look at the RAM. Look at the RAM. You see, he didn't fix the RAM.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the fire hazard. Have you ever seen a? Or is it?
This is me.
He says mesh together. He puts his hands together, just like the wires. I forget where it is, but I know he does it. He says mesh together. Why do I remember this so vividly? Oh yeah.
Together.
Oh. Did you see that?
Yes, precisely. It only works if
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
cogs mesh together.
I ain't gonna lie to you. The Incredibles has some fucking fantastic animation for 2007.
Incredibles is just amazing.
That's incredible.
what we know as zip ties, but he didn't do a very good job of actually cleaning up. And holy crap, look, there's a missing screw on his all-in-one water cooler pump. Why? You just had 3 and there's an extra one and you just threw it away just like your socket cover? And look at this. The tubing that goes into his all-in-one water cooler pump contacts the 1080 graphics card that he has.
Oh my god.
That's bad practice.
That's really bad.
That thing contains liquids that could potentially short out the system if it gets damaged by the heat generated by the graphics card. Now it looks like he managed to find the right screw for the fans.
Oh, hey.
Good.
He took it out of the radiator.
That's just awful.
And we got to the post screen.
No way.
Yeah, just remember that. He never told you how to install the fans at all.
Or Windows. Or Windows. I mean, that's pretty
screen.
important.
Holy shit, it's a miracle.
They just assume. You know.
That's amazing. That's the biggest surprise.
How to partition a hard drive or anything. You know, like pretty important stuff.
Round of applause.
And we got to the post screen.
It's like you just skipped the meat of the actual tutorial. He just went straight from like.
I would say that like building the PC is the easy part about it. It's like setting up Windows is the hard part.
You need to, if you don't come prepared with like a Windows disk or like a USB with like media creation, and it's like that's gonna be some trouble.
That is hard. That's what happened with my computer. Remember when Cameron forgot the USB he had?
Yeah.
That was, and then we had to partition, like just partitioning the hard. If you don't know what you're doing with the hard drive, just like that's a real fuck up. Like that'll cause you a lot of pain.
Man.
Two, we totally forgot to mention how to plug in the power switch, reset switch, front USB.
Oh, that's true.
Oh yeah, the front I/O. We didn't do any of that. That's also like the hardest part.
If you don't, so that's probably the biggest surprise of why this posts is because he literally didn't plug in the on button. What do you think about that?
I think for new people building PCs, that's probably the hardest thing. The front I/O, because they're so small and you have to be so precise.
I feel like that's also actual. That's like the most thing that's like actual wires. I feel like most of the other stuff is like, oh yeah, you know, it's like these big blocks of wires. You can just plug them in. You know, it makes sense. But those feel like actual wires, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
It's like they're very specific too.
Yeah.
And when you're plugging in like case fans have to like he didn't show us how to plug in any of his case fans either.
You don't need to do that. That's optional.
Yeah, you don't need no case fans. Let's put a box fan next to your PC.
You don't need a hard drive. That's optional.
And if it's reading all 16 gigs, because he still never fixed the memory.
And it's running pretty smoothly. I'm averaging 70 and 80 FPS.
You're averaging 70 and 80 FPS because you're in a plane flying around. The game really only needs to detail render your plane. Everything else is like half rendered because you're going so fast. So that's how they
what the
hide
GPU
it with
does.
motion blur and all that stuff.
Hey.
So right now I'm playing League of Legends. It's one of my favorite.
A bad
games.
benchmark game.
The minimum
Perfect benchmark game. Today I'm playing Osu. Today, one of the highest graphics.
You can run League of Legends, I think, on a machine from the 90s.
You could run
Probably at
Osu
60 FPS.
on my old laptop, and that's how I know it could actually run. That's a big call. It can run on like almost everything, which is insane because it's like 14 years of spaghetti code all on top of each other. The creator of the game, Pepe, he has spent the past, how long has it been? 6 years going through his code and trying to figure out like, oh my god, what is this? And trying to like fix it up and actually make it workable. It's insane.
Requirement for League of Legends.
And it still somehow runs. I don't know how, but
literally a single core processor.
League of Legends could run on the shittiest of laptops. It was designed that way.
I'm averaging 120 FPS, and that's only because I've actually locked the game.
Wow.
Can we get a benchmark of League where it's uncapped? Like, okay, I'm getting 600 FPS. Well, I think that's a pretty good number. It's like, what does that even mean?
Why is he capping it if he's trying to get a benchmark?
I know.
Frame rate because
he's locked the game at 120 FPS. Why? Aren't we supposed to be benchmarking something? Why even bother?
It's like, why even do that? And it's like, if you're gonna use something this simple, it's like okay, I'm playing Minecraft and I'm looking at the ground, and I'm getting 800 FPS. It's like
the best benchmark game in my opinion is like the Tomb Raider games, like The Witcher 3.
You know what used to be used a ton for benchmarking, and I bet you haven't heard this name in years? Crysis. Do you remember Crisis?
Yeah, no, Crisis is probably still there.
I completely forgot about Crisis.
Crisis 3,
I actually completely forgot about Crisis.
Crisis, when it first came out, I think like the best computers at the time couldn't run Crisis at 60 frames.
Yeah.
The reason you have it capped at 120 frames per second is because you probably are not using a monitor that is 144 hertz. So anytime you get super high frame rates, you're probably experiencing ghosting and Yasuo showing up all over the place because your panel can't keep up with your system.
And of course now we also have a computer to test and benchmark games here at the Verge.
Oh yes, of course.
No.
Bullshit.
No. You do not get the right to benchmark games or test PC components if you build PCs like that, bro. You put your PSU the wrong way. You oversaturated in thermal paste. You mix two thermal paste.
It would almost be like hilarious if he did like everything the wrong way and then somehow at the very end of the video they just cut to like a completely perfect PC. That would have been hilarious.
You made a rat's nest for cable management. You even missed one screw on your all-in-one water
That's so bad.
Radiator host
Like pause right there. Pause
right
there. Like that is, even as someone like who like doesn't even like.
I think they could see this and they'd be like, "Why is there so many wires just everywhere?"
It just looks dirty. Look, it's a brand new machine, but like it looks dirty. That's terrible, man. Oh my god.
How did he do it? How did he manage to do it?
Ain't nobody.
They don't have a backplate where you can just like thread all his wire. Remember how my PC had like a backplate? They don't have that.
I have that too.
I think most
PCs,
I think most of them do.
You want to have it in the back, like I'm pretty sure that this case should come with the panel has like room in the back, like built in.
I don't think I've ever seen a case that doesn't.
Yeah. It's like even if your case doesn't have enough room, the panel does. Like mine bows out a little bit just so you have room for cables.
Yeah. Remember when we tried to close mine? You know, like force it closed. That was funny.
Benchmarks after this, bro. 2.1 million subscribers ain't got a freaking screwdriver. Doesn't know what the heck tweezers are versus a zip tie. Doesn't know how to mount an all-in-one water cooler. Doesn't know how to put a power supply into their case.
So
Thinks
true.
a power supply can short circuit by contacting the metal case.
All right, so long story short, this video sucks.
Presented by Capital One.
Capital One, you got the raw end of the deal.
Oh, you gotta get your logo scraped off this thing. Holy moly.
And I don't know why you guys sponsored this video.
Well, to be fair, I don't think it's that bad for Capital One, just because if it was like a computer company that sponsored this and like gave them the parts, that would look terrible.
Man, like that is like I don't know. That's dangerous. Like if someone were to follow this build, that's dangerous.
Yeah. But imagine how much more to. I feel like people could be like, oh yeah, you know, Capital One, they were just banking whatever. They don't really whatever, right? But if it was like an actual PC company, like imagine like Corsair sponsored this or something.
That would
just
have
as an example, and they like provided parts for the video or something, and then he puts it together like this. That would have been like terrible for Corsair.
I'm pretty sure they probably would have sued.
Maybe
defamation.
It's terrible. It's full of misinformation.
This is easily the worst PC build I have ever seen.
A lot of people are going to screw their computer up.
Very scary. Someone who built a PC for the first time might think this is a good video to follow, and their PC explode. They don't know the video bad because they disabled the like and dislike and the comment. So much censorship. Feel like I'm back in China.
So all you have to do is take the brick and make sure that you align it with these little insulating pads so the power supply doesn't short circuit and come into contact with the rest of the system.
Doesn't short circuit and come into contact with
So
the rest
true.
of the system. Doesn't short circuit and come into contact with the rest of the system.
We have a big team of tech reporters with a deep understanding of tech and how it affects the world we live in.
A great video. One of the best videos ever made.
Incredible. I'll give it a like. I'll do it. Man. Now what?
Now it's bedtime.
Really? You're going?
I'm gonna go. Don't worry, Will. You only got 12 more hours. I'll join you for the latter half of your stream.
Oh man. I have some good ideas for videos that we could both watch. I like this. This is a nice setup.
Listen, all I'm saying is I have fun.